Surely sometime in your travels you've come across the common folk, the unnamed, simple, thankless strangers chatting away in your periphery. A lot of times they don't even have names, but they all add spice to the world. Today, let's visit the Peasants of Kugane. Alright, so near the docks in Kugane, near the canals, there is this little boy playing with his friend who says, "Come on, it's my turn to play with the stick." Like, this is the entertainment you have for yourselves. Like, his friend isn't even doing anything with the stick. This is the worst game. This is the worst game ever. And you're standing in front of a tree. You can get a stick. Like, just climb up there and get it like a normal kid. But he's just an idiot. I mean, I zoomed into his face. You can tell he's got like this like happy, stupid look on his face. He's holding a pinwheel. That's part stick. I wouldn't be surprised if he just ate the pinwheel so he could have a stick. He's idiot kid. Meanwhile, the girls are having a much better time. One of them says, "Father will kill you if he finds out you took his drawings of the pretty maids." So the girls are over here looking at their dad's weird fetish porn, and the boys are playing with a stick. Like, get it together. For real though, your dad needs to go back to art school. That doesn't look good. I noticed this old man talking to himself. I think this is the Yakuza district. And I was thinking, does he look like Ted Bundy? Or have I just been looking at a lot of pictures of Ted Bundy lately? Because he's kind of got the hairstyle. I don't know, I was just sitting here thinking about that. And then something exciting happened. I saw these guys chasing a ninja through the street. I guess the guard chasing a ninja through the street. And I was like, oh, what's happening? Let's go check it out. And I rushed over there to see this drama unfold. And I don't know. It's like this thief or whatever he is, this criminal, has some kind of a force field around him. I look closely. The guy doesn't have any weapons. He's just standing there. And the guard is just poking at him with their lantern. It's the most chicken shit display I've ever seen. They keep saying, "Sound the alarm," but no one does it. They're just stuck there, caught in an infinite loop. And I'm sitting there like, I pity them because they'll never leave. They're just waiting for something different to happen. And that's when I realized that I had been sitting there waiting for something different to happen for like an hour and a half. So downstairs in the bar, there's a couple of foreigners who don't seem to understand how to operate food. And they're not the only ones. There's another person upstairs who's also shoveling food into his mouth. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe that's just about animation restrictions, like animation limitations. Because surely they wouldn't be making a joke about how obnoxious Westerners can be when in Asian countries. There's a woman near the market who's talking to her friend, and she says, "My good-for-nothing husband spends morning and night under Sanjo's red lamps," the lech. And for you kiddies who don't know what that means, let me educate you. Red lamps means prostitution. The red light, like red light district, means the district where the brothels are, where the whore's at. And if you open the map of Kugane, it will actually show you where that is. It's Sanjo Hanamachi, conveniently next to the inn. So I decided to go over there and check it out and see like what's happening over there. And there's a guy standing in front of the building saying nothing, with a very conspicuous red lantern he's holding out. Now that's to indicate this is where the sluts are working currently, if you're interested, in a discreet and classy way. But if you look closely, you'll notice that he has this like dead, far away look in his eyes. And he has his lip fullness scaled all the way up to the maximum that it can go. So, I mean, he doesn't even really need the red lantern because his face says it all right there. There's also a couple of guys who are fighting, but they can't actually punch each other. Like, nothing can happen because they're trapped in this infinite loop of NPC-dom. But that's not interesting. The interesting part is that one of them tries to roll up his sleeves and like preparing for this punch, which is like Really a fruitless endeavor. He has giant sleeves and rolling them up does nothing. And what else is next to the inn? Kugane's hot springs of sexual discovery. You almost feel dirty walking in on a couple of these interactions. There's a half-naked Ro who is receiving a very sensual massage. Like, he's really enjoying it. Like, really enjoying it. While there's a creepy guy just sitting and watching from afar, and he says something like, "Oh, I need to cool down. Oh, it's so hot in here," right? So that's weird. There's also a guy that maybe the first time you walked into the hot springs, you might have thought he was actually naked, but they can't allow that in this game. So they got the closest to a naked, fully naked Ro that they could and put him here in the hot springs, which there's really no better place for him. So he deserves an honorable mention, but his butt is woefully lacking. I mean, in this tight undies, his ass region really looks deficient. Like, it looks almost misshapen with how little butt there is. I've been over this. We've been through this already. Now, there's plenty of other peasants of Kugane, but most of what they're doing is just painfully boring. Like, there's this guy who's just like, "Oh, I have too much rice to carry. It is very heavy." And his friends are like, "We played a joke on him and he has to carry more rice than normal." Like, that's not interesting. There's an old man on the other side of town who's just drinking tea, and you get close to him, he says, "I like this tea." Like, have you ever had a conversation with someone that was so boring that it kind of made your mind go blank? You know that feeling you get right before you fall asleep? Or right before your eyes start bleeding from their sockets? That's kind of how I felt talking to a lot of the peasants of Kugane. Maybe that's the point, though, to get this like zen feeling. This isn't Thanalon, but I wouldn't be surprised if the crotch rot made its way here. If you like this video, consider checking out my other Peasants video from a long time ago, the Peasants of Thanalon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you from the HQ. I'll see you next time.